Anger, it sneaks up on you in the most unexpected moments, turning a simple frustration into a full-blown storm. It's the feeling of being overwhelmed by emotions you can't control, like a fire that's been waiting for the right spark. But what if that anger isn't just random? What if it's a deep-rooted response to something much bigger? Something you can understand, and ultimately, change. In this journey, we're diving into why anger rises, where it truly comes from, and how understanding it can unlock the power to free yourself from its grip for good. As people awaken, they often begin to notice how frequently anger arises, and it can be an exhausting realization. The key question is, how do we manage our own expectations and reactions in these moments? The answer lies in understanding the relationship between expectation management and anger management. Expectation often means beating oneself up for being unconscious, which only fuels more unconsciousness. The mental image people carry of who they are often says, "I'm not good enough. I can't do it." After years of trying and failing, the thoughts creep in. You've been at it for 25 years and you still can't do it. You can't possibly be any good if you still can't do it after all this time. These are the thoughts that swirl around in the mind. When such ideas pop into your head, how does it feel? How do you feel when you believe these thoughts? Byron Katie could inquire, "Is that so bad?" A critical part of your mind will find fault with you, which might cause you to feel guilty or doubtful of yourself. Furthermore, this strengthens the imagined identity by adding additional layers to the ego. The problem is that people often base their sense of identity on these ideas, which just perpetuates the cycle. Then comes the epiphany. I did it again. The wrath simmers down. I'm not very good. To keep the wheel turning, here is the second level of egocentric reaction to the first. Fury quickly builds up for many. It can sneak up on you before you know it if you aren't careful and attentive. When awareness is lacking, automatic responses kick in and you find yourself yelling or saying things you didn't intend. The screenplay, consisting of mental and emotional elements, plays out almost mechanically. It is the pattern. This pattern is frequently associated with the pain body, a reservoir of unprocessed emotional hurt. This anguish can show itself as wrath, melancholy, or extreme annoyance. Because it stems from a sense of helplessness that many people retain from their history, anger is prevalent. Like a child having a tantrum, individuals tend to act out when they feel helpless. Scream loud enough and maybe someone will give you what you want. And occasionally this works. However, helplessness is always at the heart of wrath. Anger is a type of dread that the ego deceives itself into thinking is a sign of power. Furthermore, the profound helplessness that underlies wrath can be discerned when one attains genuine self-awareness of this dynamic. Anger stems from a foundation of fear, despite the ego's best efforts to portray itself as powerful. Even little dogs exhibit this dynamic. When it comes to barking, the smallest dogs can sometimes be the most hyperactive. A bigger dog's passing causes the smaller dogs to become enraged. It makes sense, to an extent. Imagine how much more compelled you would be to bark if you were so little. A large dog, such as a Rottweiler or Mastiff, will not bark though. There is no need to react because it is aware of its own power. Unfazed by anything, it strolls confidently by. At the same time, the small dog keeps barking, which is usually a sign of anxiety or panic. We can relate to this pattern in dogs and find it funny because we know it's a fear response. However, the relationship can become far more intricate when dealing with humans. The barking stops and the words start flowing, and it becomes more difficult to laugh or smile because of it. Even in challenging situations, the pattern can be recognized. You can't pin a person's identity on their unconscious actions. When we do, then criticism begins. A person's anger level isn't the determining factor in a judgment. It is undeniable. There's no criticism there. But we are passing judgment when we say things like, "You are an angry person," and then assume the worst of the offender. It's not enough to just see the pattern. What really matters is how one uses that pattern to define themselves. Furthermore, we are guilty of passing such judgment on ourselves as well as on other people. You have the right to be as critical of yourself as you are of other people. You aren't capable of doing this, the critical inner monologue says. You are inadequate. You will remain unchanged. And it's not good for you to be so hard on yourself. Actually, a lot of people do it unconsciously because it's so embedded in their lives. Some parts of your mind may silently concur with the thought, "You're not good enough," while other parts may accuse you of being too critical of yourself. Strange, isn't it? When you mentally converse with yourself, one aspect of you is passing judgment on the other. However, a dramatic change occurs when you fully grasp this dynamic. Once you become aware of it, you are able to overcome those old habits. You have broken free from that pattern. How therefore can you escape its clutches? The trick is to train yourself to recognize the first signs of stress. You can train yourself to be more vigilant as stress levels rise by remembering that anger usually takes over. You have the power to remain in the here and now whenever you feel the onset of rage building up. Know when to be on guard if you have a pattern of situations or parts of your life that make you angry more often. Being in tune with your bodily and mental energies can teach you to slow down, breathe, and choose not to respond. Attend to these times with a sense of devotion. Keep in mind that the state of consciousness and not the current circumstances is paramount. You can occasionally feel the dormant suffering of people whose anger dominates their pain bodies, even when they aren't expressing anger at the moment. In most cases, these people are patiently waiting for their chance to explode. There is an underlying tension and anger waiting to explode in their energy field. If you're hypersensitive, you can sense this energy and know that even a little stimulus could set off an explosive reaction. The pain body is doing its thing here. The person is truly just looking for an opportunity to vent their pent-up frustrations. They aren't furious with you or anybody else in particular. Remember that the situation is irrelevant. What matters is the energy that has been aroused within. The next time you or someone else finds themselves stuck in this cycle, once you become aware of it and maintain your awareness of it, you will be able to start liberating yourself from the pain body, rage, and self-judgment. And that on its own is a step toward finding contentment inside oneself. Join me on this journey of self-discovery as we delve into the wonders of nature, the answers to which lie beyond our wildest imaginations. I want to be a part of this community of people who are also on a journey of self-discovery, so subscribe to this channel, leave a comment saying now, and hit like on the video if you think this message is important. A last act of kindness would be sharing this message with someone who would benefit from some encouraging words. Just a small gesture. We'll see each other again in tomorrow's video.